Tariffs. Let's talk tariffs.
Ooh, tariffs. I just saw such a good video on Instagram about tariffs. Do you want to hear about it real
Bring
quick?
it.
So I don't know who the guy was. I don't know who he was. I was Instagram scrolling and it came up. And he brought up tariffs. And he said, which I noticed during all of this, is a lot of people are concerned, obviously, that a tariff is going to raise prices for us. So really the tariff is what? Paid for by the person who the tariff is attached to, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So we put a tariff on ABC Company. ABC Company is paying that, not you. Where it gets a little hairy is, okay, well, ABC Company then raises its prices to you. Now you're seeing the hurt of the tariff. But what the tariff also is a bargaining tactic. And I feel like we saw this with Canada and Mexico, is we're going to have this tariff issue. People are getting up in arms. They're not comfortable. All right. Let's sit down and have a conversation and let's put the tariffs on hold and let's start working together. Bargaining tactic. What do you say?
So tariffs are sort of like a translator as far as I'm concerned. So let's just say we'll use a rare earth element, right? We need to put in our batteries, and we buy a lot of batteries, right? Or a call center. So I can go to India and buy call center access. Call center is paying $3 an hour to the person behind the phone. United States, $20 an hour for the phone, right? Mm-hmm. And so if I'm a company and I'm shopping with a completely different rule book where we can't pay someone $3 an hour to do call center, who am I going to go to? So I go to call center, it's $3 an hour. It might not be quite as good, but my total expenses are $1 million. United States call center costs more money, but it's $10 million. So as a company, I'm going to buy from the one that only cost me $1 million. And then when you buy my service, call center is built into my overall product. It's cheaper, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not hiring United States employees. I'm not following United States guidelines. So all of a sudden somebody says, okay, call centers, I'm going to equalize it. I am going to make the tariffs so that India call center and American call center are equal in value, right? Mm-hmm. So now it costs me the exact same thing. India is no longer cheaper, and it's a subpar product. Mm-hmm. So what am I going to choose? Bring it to the United States where I'm paying the call center the exact same amount that I would on the other side, or continue shopping India and paying the exact... It makes sense, right? Mm-hmm. So if my money's going outwardly to India, right, now it no longer is, and I'm paying someone local. So someone with a spreadsheet has to say whether or not now when you buy a Dell computer and the support is all United States based and it costs 30% more, but the dollars stay here in the United States, is that a worthwhile pursuit when you have to then take a local person who worked in Indiana with a salary that now got invented because I was willing to spend money in the United States versus India, whether or not the money that then they spend at the grocery store and, you know, all the other businesses is worthwhile. Mm-hmm. Takes longer to take effect, but which would you choose? Is the lower price of the Dell computer more important, where I only paid $600, or the $800 computer that I had to buy now because of the tariffs, right? Is it more worthwhile? Economically, it's more worthwhile if you keep the money in your own country versus allowing it to go into India. So yes, we took advantage of low cost of labor in other countries. And if we use tariffs to be able to disincentivize spending money in another country that might not ever make its way back into the United States, it's a long-term goal.
But what's so frustrating is all of that information, for some people who actually look at it will see that. But for a big part of the population, I think, all they will see is a report that says, you came to office, I pay more for this.
100%.
So clearly your politics are wrong because I paid more for something.
I want to pay a lower value even if I'm leveraging the low cost of labor in India because it affects me and it costs more out of my paycheck to be able to buy the end result computer.
Meanwhile, I was happier paying a lesser amount for my computer.
Even if it meant you're supporting India.
But I don't know why my local businesses are going out of business.
Yeah.
I don't know why. But then here's another thing that happens. So you're in power. You're doing everything you just said. All I see is now I'm paying more for stuff, and I don't like that. And if you lower my costs by doing that, all my businesses locally are going out of business now. Oh, gee, but you're in power. That must be your fault, right? And it's like all they want to do is look for how they can twist something to put blame on someone without seeing that, oh my God, do you actually see that there's a reason they're doing it and it is beneficial?
Yeah. So, there's a mathematical approach. Like I said, the translation between equalizing the costs of what's coming in to give advantage to your own citizens and the own business owners, as well as reciprocal. Like, what are the other countries doing to protect their own industries? Like, if Canada is charging us 300% tariffs, should we not charge the same kind of translation that they are to protect their own industry? And, like China and Canada and Mexico have been really skewed where we've been making almost free trade to them, but then charging high tariffs to our goods coming into them. So like this is sort of like an equalization where nothing's going to make mathematical sense because it never has. We've been the giver and they've been the receiver. And so when you flip those odds, it's going to feel like there's some meanness happening, almost like you're going to give me a loan and I'm going to charge you 0% interest. But when I make you a loan, you charge me 20% interest. When I'm like, kind of unfair, I'm going to charge you 20%. If you just took a snapshot, I'm increasing what I'm charging you 20%, only making it equal to what you were willing to charge me for the money that was coming the other direction. Long term, it's just fairness that, equated there. But in the short term, I raised 20% on you, and it's going to cost you way more money now than it did yesterday.
And here's, even going back to the media thing, here's where I get so freaking annoyed at the media is in instances like when Trump struck a deal basically with Canada and with Mexico. We as a country are clearly so divided right now. People are fighting all the time depending on what side of the aisle you're on. And then once again, you see these headlines like, oh my God, what was it? Mexico or whoever bending their knee, submitting. They submit to Trump. They blah. Why can't we just say, oh, we struck a deal. We're working together. We've got more border control help now. And we've put this off because we're all in this together. No. Why would we have headlines that show that we're now going to work together and we've reached a deal and it's going to benefit both of us? And no. It's got to be we dominated that country. They submit to us. Why? So that we look like assholes and continue to divide people. That drives me insane.